Who is Freddie Fox? The actor behind Gwayne Hightower. Warning, spoiler warning. This video discusses Freddie Fox's role as Gwayne Hightower in House of the Dragon and includes some character and story details from the series. If you've been watching House of the Dragon and wondering who plays Gwayne Hightower, the answer is Freddie Fox. Gwayne may not have a dragon or sit on the Iron Throne, but his role has become increasingly important as the Dance of the Dragons gets more violent. And Freddie Fox has brought a very different personality to House Hightower. But who exactly is Freddie Fox? Where have you seen him before? What other major roles has he played? And why was he such a good choice to portray Alicent Hightower's complicated brother? Let's take a closer look at the actor behind Gwayne Hightower. 1. Who is Freddie Fox? Freddie Fox is an English actor who has worked extensively in television, film, and theater. He was born into a family with a long history in British acting. His father is actor Edward Fox, while his uncle is James Fox. So acting was already a major part of Freddie's family background. Fox went on to train at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, one of Britain's most respected drama schools. That training helped prepare him for a career that would eventually take him from British television and theater to major international productions. And before House of the Dragon, Fox had already played a wide variety of characters. 2. Freddie Fox before House of the Dragon. One of Freddie Fox's best-known roles came in the historical comedy series The Great. He played King George III, appearing alongside Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult. It was a very different role from Gwayne Hightower. The character allowed Fox to show his comedic timing while also handling dramatic material. That combination of humor and seriousness is something we can also see in Gwayne. Fox has also appeared in Slow Horses, the popular Apple TV Plus spy series. His character, James Spider Webb, is very different from Gwayne. He's ambitious, arrogant, and constantly trying to prove himself. Again, this gave Fox experience playing characters connected to power and status. He has also appeared in projects including The Crown, Catherine the Great, and other British and international productions. So, when he joined House of the Dragon, he wasn't an unknown actor. He already had years of experience playing complicated characters. 3. Who does Freddie Fox play in House of the Dragon? In House of the Dragon, Freddie Fox plays Ser Gwayne Hightower. Gwayne is the son of Otto Hightower and the brother of Alicent Hightower. That makes him part of one of the most powerful families in Westeros. But Gwayne isn't a political mastermind like his father. Otto is constantly thinking about power, succession, alliances, and the future of House Hightower. Gwayne is different. He's a knight. He's a soldier. And as the Dance of the Dragons begins, he becomes increasingly involved in the military side of the conflict. That means Gwayne experiences the war very differently from his father. Otto can sit in a council chamber and discuss strategy. Gwayne has to actually go on to the battlefield. And eventually, he discovers just how terrifying dragon warfare really is. 4. Why is Gwayne different from Otto? This is one of the most interesting things about Freddie Fox's performance. Gwayne may be a Hightower, but he's not simply another version of Otto. Otto is calculating, he's patient, he's politically ambitious, and he's willing to make difficult decisions if he believes they're necessary for his family's future. Gwayne is much more emotional. He cares about honor, he cares about family, and he doesn't always agree with the way other people are handling the war. That difference makes Gwayne feel more human. He's still proud, he's still capable of arrogance, but underneath that confidence is someone who genuinely cares about the people around him. And that's especially obvious when it comes to Alicent. 5. Freddie Fox and Alicent's relationship. Gwayne's relationship with Alicent is one of the most important parts of his character. He's not just another Green supporter, he's her brother. And because of that, he can interact with Alicent in a way that many other characters cannot. Gwayne isn't simply speaking to the Queen, he's speaking to his sister. That makes their conversations much more personal. He can challenge her, he can question her decisions, And he can remind her of the human consequences of the war. Freddie Fox and Olivia Cooke also create believable sibling chemistry. Their scenes don't feel like two political characters discussing strategy. They feel like members of the same family who have known each other for years. And that gives viewers a different perspective on Alicent. 6. Gwayne's relationship with Darren. Another important part of Gwayne's story is his connection to Darren Targaryen, Alicent's youngest son. Darren was raised in Old Town under the influence of House Hightower. Because of that, Gwayne has a closer relationship with him than some members of the royal family. Gwayne appears to see Darren as a good young man, and he wants to protect him. This becomes increasingly important as the war moves toward the Hightower-controlled territories. Darren is eventually given a much larger role in the Green War effort, and Gwayne becomes connected to that storyline. This gives Freddie Fox an opportunity to play Gwayne as more than just Alicent's brother. He becomes part of the larger Hightower family story. 7. Gwayne and Criston Cole. Another major relationship is Gwayne's connection to Criston Cole. The two men are fighting on the same side, but they have very different personalities. Gwayne still believes in traditional ideas of honor and duty. Criston has become increasingly bitter and cynical. He's seen so much violence that his original ideals have started to disappear. This creates tension between them. That tension becomes even greater when Gwayne discovers Criston's relationship with Alicent. Gwayne is furious. From his perspective, Criston has dishonored his sister. And as Alicent's brother, Gwayne takes that personally. But after hearing Criston's explanation, Gwayne eventually understands the situation differently. The scene is important because it shows that Gwayne's anger comes from something genuine. He isn't simply trying to prove that he's stronger than Criston, he's protecting his sister's honor. 8. The battle changes Gwayne's character. Gwayne's character also changes because of the war. At first, he carries the confidence of a highborn knight. But the Dance of the Dragons isn't a normal war. At Rook's Rest, Gwayne witnesses the destructive power of dragons firsthand. This isn't a sword fight. This isn't a tournament. A dragon can destroy dozens of soldiers in seconds. Entire armies can be wiped out before they even have a chance to fight. For Gwayne, this is a brutal reality check. The war that once seemed like a matter of family honor becomes something much darker. And Freddie Fox plays Gwayne as someone gradually realizing that there may be no glory in this conflict. There is only survival. 9. Why fans have started paying attention to Gwayne. Gwayne originally seemed like a relatively minor character, but Freddie Fox has given him enough personality that viewers have become interested in his future. He's arrogant sometimes, he's occasionally funny, he's protective of his family, and he's capable of showing vulnerability. That combination makes him stand out. He isn't a perfect hero. He isn't a villain. He's a man caught in a war created by powerful people. And that's one of the reasons the character works. The Targaryens have dragons. The great lords have armies. The politicians have influence. But Gwayne is still essentially a knight trying to survive the consequences of decisions made by people much more powerful than him. 10. What happens to Gwayne in Fire and Blood? Now comes the major book spoiler. In George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood, Gwayne's story is much shorter than the television version. He becomes connected to the defense of King's Landing and serves in an important role within the City Watch. But when Rhaenyra eventually takes King's Landing, Gwayne's position becomes extremely dangerous. He is betrayed and ultimately killed. So, according to the book, Gwayne does not survive the Dance of the Dragons. But there's an important reason fans shouldn't assume the same thing will happen on television. The HBO series has already expanded Gwayne's role significantly. He's more involved in the military campaign. He's connected to Darren. He's developed a stronger relationship with Alicent. And his story has been given far more screen time. That means HBO has more freedom to change his ending. 11. Could Freddie Fox's Gwayne survive? That's one of the biggest questions surrounding the character. The show could eventually follow the book and give Gwayne a tragic ending, but it could also change his fate. And there are several reasons why his survival would make sense dramatically. Gwayne provides a human perspective on the Green faction. He's connected to Alicent. He's connected to Darren. And he has already experienced the horrors of the war. Keeping him alive could allow the show to explore what happens to House Hightower after the dance. On the other hand, his eventual death could also become an important emotional moment for Alicent and the remaining Hightowers. So, either direction could work. 12. Why Freddie Fox was a good choice. Ultimately, Freddie Fox works because he doesn't play Gwayne as simply the Hightower soldier. He gives the character layers. There's confidence, there's arrogance, there's humor, there's loyalty, and there's fear underneath it all. That's especially important in House of the Dragon because almost every character is dealing with the consequences of the war differently. Some want power, some want revenge, some want survival. And Gwayne seems increasingly interested in protecting the people he cares about. That makes him an interesting contrast to Otto. Otto thinks about the future of the family. Gwayne thinks about the people standing beside him. And that's a subtle but important difference. Final thoughts. So, who is Freddie Fox? He's the English actor behind Gwayne Hightower in House of the Dragon. He's part of a famous British acting family, trained at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, and has already appeared in major projects including The Great, Slow Horses, and The Crown. But Gwayne Hightower may become one of his most recognizable roles. What makes the character interesting is that Gwayne isn't a dragon rider, a king, or a master politician. He's a knight caught in the middle of the most destructive civil war in Westerosi history. He's Alicent's brother. He's Otto's son. He's connected to Darren. And he's increasingly forced to confront the consequences of his family's decisions. In the book, Gwayne's story ends tragically, but the television series has already expanded his role and changed the path of his character. So the biggest question now is, will Freddie Fox's Gwayne Hightower meet the same fate as his book counterpart? Or will House of the Dragon give him a completely different ending? And if he does survive, could Gwayne become one of the last major Hightowers standing after the Dance of the Dragons? That's what makes his story worth following. Because in a war dominated by dragons and kings, Gwayne Hightower is one of the characters who reminds us what the war looks like from the ground. And Freddie Fox is the actor who brings that perspective to life. So, what do you think? Is Gwayne Hightower one of the most underrated characters in the series? And do you think HBO should follow his book fate, or let Freddie Fox's version of Gwayne survive? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this House of the Dragon breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more character explanations, actor profiles, fire and blood comparisons, and Dance of the Dragons theories.